About 6 months before my dad died, he had asked me to come over and help him write letters. He had things that he wanted to say to people, but he didn't have the ability to write, and he barely had the ability to speak. He had PSP, and it was a neurodegenerative disease. It's very similar to ALS. And it took me a minute to understand it was Christmas, and he was kind of mumbling and urging me to come out and help him write these letters. So I told him I would. And then the next morning, my mom got into a car accident that put my grandmother in the hospital, and she never came home. And so I was helping my mom and my dad and my grandma. I was just kind of filling the gaps of support. And before too long, my dad lost his speech, and we never got to write those letters. This morning, I was wondering, I wonder what he would have said. He always had something encouraging to say to people, so I was like, I wonder what he would have said. And that's just not for me to know. But my dad was such a speaker. He was a poet, he was a writer, he was so full of love for people. And something shifted within me when I started going through last words with my dad. And they were so tender. Like the morning that they told me that he was going to start the morphine drip, I went and I got my kids from school, and I got to the hospital, and I walked into the room, and he was still awake. And I grabbed his hands, and I looked right into his eyes, and I said, Dad, I love looking into your eyes. And he just closed his eyes, and he never opened them again. But I'm so grateful, because now I feel like I just more than ever want to use my voice in such an intentional way, and my words and my writing and my gifts, because you just never know when you're not going to be able to use them anymore, especially if they're things that you cherish. And one of the last things he said to me, where he was audible, like I could tell what he was saying, he grabbed my hand on Christmas as I walked by, and he says, it looks like you found your joy. So, use your gifts. You might not be able to use them someday, so don't do it because you're afraid of losing them. Do it because they are you, and they're gifts to everyone around you. Anyways, I love you.